Survivor Now podcast.
I was busy on the beach, like I was on Survivor.
I don't believe anything you say on Survivor. I almost called.
It's now time.
I'm so excited.
Oh no!
I do love you, but bye.
Oh, it's so wrong.
I gotta go. I got something to do. Not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now, but.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Survivor Now pre-show, where we are getting amped and ready for episode 12, the penultimate episode of Survivor 49. Obviously, my name is Ollie, but I can't do this alone. I've got the lovely Tori joining me as always. Tori, how are we, my darling?
I'm doing so well, and I was doing even better after I saw your outfit. Like, Ollie is making me look bad, y'all. I mean, I show up in my comfies. Ollie's just looking so good.
We will preference. I did have a work Christmas evening, like work do tonight. So that is why I'm dressed up very nice, because it was like we all had to look nice, and I was like, I'm gonna look the best though. We've already got people in the chat. Just a reminder, the live chat is open, so if you want to share your thoughts on YouTube, do so. Randy said, oh, the black outfits. Whose funeral is it tonight? Well, considering these are a spark, Randy, not mine. And Gemini, I do always like.
I mean, I have no reason other than, like, I really only wear black. Like, it's kind of weird. I wear, like, black and dark blue. Dark colors, y'all, for me.
I was going to say, I think I'm never really in all black. I think this is one of the first times I'm very much in all black. I don't think I really.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of times I've worn like all black, but there's been some sort of element to it.
Yeah.
And also we have Tashia saying prediction. Every prediction on the pre-game is wrong. Not a lie at all. And Randy also saying, Tori, I relate to that so much, pushing the boundaries of goth over here.
Yep.
Obviously.
You're with me, Randy. You know what's up.
But obviously, we're not just here to talk about our fabulous looks. We are here to talk about the Survivor 49. Yep, I said that right. My brain's gone today. Episode 12, the penultimate episode. Obviously, Tori, how are you feeling for tonight's episode first off, before we get into anything?
You know what? This might be one of the most excited I've been for a second to last episode of the new era. It's one of those times when, like, really anything could happen, just with, like, what's still in the game, who's still in the game. I'm excited. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I mean, compared to last season, I remember last season, I was just there, like, I already know what's going to happen. Like, I remember I was just so, like, meh. But this episode, I'm actually intrigued because I feel like we've got some really fun dynamics that we're going to get into. Before we do that, I just want to say thank you, Cara. Sorry, I need to take a compliment.
Everyone, I deserve some love too. I know I'm still in, like, my normal comfies, but maybe I'll try to slay the house down next week with some crazy.
It's the finale. So yeah. And obviously Georgette has made it in. Thank you, Georgette. Just a reminder though that if you are new to the channel and you're wondering what's going on, hit that like and subscribe button because we've got so much more content. It's not just the pre-show we do. We've got a whole other things that we'll get to at the end. But before we do, anyone that does watch the pre-show knows we do have a little icebreaker just to get ourselves into the swing of things, into the Survivor mood. And Tori, are you ready for your icebreaker tonight?
I am. I'm always kind of ready, kind of nervous, but let's do it.
Well, Tori, first of all, your hair's always looking stunning, by the way. There's the compliment.
Very smooth.
But the icebreaker has nothing to do with your hair. It has, though, to do with the pre-merge of Survivor 49. We do everything in revolving around everyone that's left, but let's give the pre-mergers some love tonight. So what I need you to do is I need you to rank the pre-merge from 1 to 7 based on who you would want to see back. Or it can be who you think you will see back, whatever way you want to do it. But yeah. We're gonna rank the pre-merge based on that criteria. So how are you gonna do it?
Okay, I'm excited. You know what? I'm gonna veer more on the side of, like, who I would like to see back, but it's gonna be kind of a combination at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. So for people that don't remember, because I know that we know the pre-merge was a bit at times, but Let's just remind ourselves of who the pre-merge was. So you have Nicole, Annie, Jake, Jeremiah, Matt, Jason, and Shannon. Those are our 7 pre-mergers. They unfortunately did not make the merge, so they don't get to sit with MC and Jawan and like slay the looks on the jury. But Tori, are you ready?
I am. Let's do it.
Let's go. Do you want to go top to bottom or bottom to top?
Let's go like last place first. I don't know if that is technically the top or the bottom.
Yeah, bottom to top, bottom to top.
Bottom to top.
Okay, so who are you ranking at number 7?
Okay, so everyone, I don't know if this is a hot take, and this is no shade towards this person, but I just think that we saw everything that we could possibly see out of Shannon, and like she was definitely a character, which is why maybe like in terms of like who we could actually see back, she may not be last place, but I just think like in terms of she was a strategist, we saw her strategy, we saw how she plays, we saw a lot of like who she is outside of the game. I just think I'm good. I've seen what I need to see from Shannon. So she's going to go in last place for me.
Okay, so Shannon is number 7. Who is number 6?
Okay. Oh, so I'm doing all my people first? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do all my people first. Okay. I'm a little nervous now. Okay. So my 6th place person is actually going to be Matt because I liked him and he was like gaming towards like when he was going to get voted out. And I appreciated seeing that. But unfortunately, it also has a little bit to do with like his age. And that's not like a personal thing. That's just like when somebody's already kind of like on the playing with when they play the first time, there's a lower likelihood that they would come back. So that's what I'll say on that.
Nice. Fair enough. Gemini does say that they would swap Matt and Shannon. So Matt would be 7, Shannon would be 6. So they get that. Okay, you're number 5.
Number 5 is going to be Annie for a similar reason. So for Matt and Annie, I was more thinking of like what production would do and how they would think. It has nothing to do with really for none of these people, it never has anything to do with my dislike for them. But I just think similar kind of reasoning for Matt.
Okay, fair. Okay, so you're number 4. This person's in the middle.
Okay.
Hang on in the middle.
I decided to put Nicole. So Nicole's smack in the middle because I always kind of think when it's the first person out, I always, first of all, feel kind of bad for that person because they obviously wanted to play and their game got cut way short. And, I think Nicole had more to offer. I think we had more that we could see from Nicole. I always wouldn't mind seeing a first person out back in the game at some point.
Yeah, I can get with that. Okay, so you're left with Jake, Jeremiah, and Jason. All the J's. You like the J's?
Oh, the J's. I guess I do like the J's. Okay.
You like the J's. Okay, but which J is going to be 3rd?
Okay, so Jason is going to be 3rd. I think that Jason was really smart. So I actually had a hard time with Jason versus Jeremiah. And I ultimately went with Jake. Did I say Jake versus Jeremiah? I don't know. There's too many J's. The reason I put Jason above Jeremiah is because even though he's really smart, like I think he had more of a chance to play the game than Jeremiah did. Like Jeremiah was on the disaster tribe. Like I think that we have more that we could see from Jeremiah versus from Jason.
Okay. So you kind of hinted at it. Who's number 2?
Okay, I decided Jeremiah's number 2. Jeremiah seems really likable, like seems like could be a good strategist. Like we didn't see a whole lot of that from him this season, but we saw a little bit, and I just think he'd be fun to come back. So I decided Jeremiah's 2nd from the top.
Okay, and then that leaves your number 1 being?
I decided on Jake, y'all. I mean, Jake is a character. He was pulling his shoe antics. He was like doing some things. He had some good alliances going, and he didn't even get voted out of the game. He got medevaced. And so I think it would be fun to see him come back and try to redeem himself as a previous medevac coming back for a 2nd shot.
Nice. Yeah, I can understand that. Kendra quickly just agrees with you, saying that Shannon being last. Gemini has been given all of their answers. Annie, number 4. Jeremiah, number 3. They said that Jake, number 2, and they really want to see more of Nicole, so that's why they're number 1. Okay. I'm not going to lie, I can sentiment with that. And then you have got Inu that says their rankings are Jake, number 1, Jason, number 2, smart and ready to play the game. Number 3 is Matt. Tried to position himself out of the bottom. 4, Jeremiah. 5, Shannon. 6, Nicole. 7, Annie. So that is interesting. I kind of agree with most of your list. I think the only major thing I would do, and I think this is where my hot take comes in, is I would just swap Nicole and Jake.
Okay.
That's my hot take. I don't need Jake, but I think that's very fair. I mean, Jake does seem like a lovely person. I've seen a lot of the lovely stuff he's done, just not my personal player, which is fine. Again, lovely human. I think all of them are lovely people, but that's my preference. So yeah, that's the main thing I would change. But well done, Tori. And quickly, Tashia has said number 1, Jeremiah, number 2, Jake, number 3, Shannon, number 4, Nicole, number 5, Matt, number 6, Jason, and number 7, Annie. I like this. I like how I love seeing this because, again, pre-merges don't normally get a lot of love. I can't wait for the day that Jeff finally does a pre-merge season where he gets all of the pre-mergers. So it'd be interesting to see if anyone from 49.
I would love a season like that. And let me just say before we move on, I would hope that a lot of 48 pre-mergers would make that cut because we had some really good players get out early on 48. We always have good players get out early before their time, but I really thought that 48, that was the case.
I mean, absolutely. And maybe I think that probably for how the tribal went, maybe Justin, I could see them bringing Justin.
Yeah. And Thomas, Bianca.
I mean, just basically all of the pre-merge of that tribe, all of that season Ghana tribe. But you kind of mentioned it, so I'm going to ask the question. Out of all of the pre-merges here, which person, if there was a kind of pre-merge season, which one do you think would be the easiest choice from 49?
I mean, I'm going to say Jake, who was also my number 1. I just think anybody who doesn't actually get voted out of the game or that gets out of the game for no fault of their own, kind of similar to Bianca or Justin. I think those are the people that sort of come to mind when people think of a robbed pre-merger. Yeah. Who do you think?
I do agree. I think in terms of, Jake, obviously the medevac, the dramatics that it was from the production standpoint, I could honestly see that very much easily. And then I think the rogue one would be Jeremiah. I think Jeremiah would be the out left field person, or Jason possibly.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
And I'm glad that other people agree that yes, we do need a second chance pre-merge season. Yes, because I know you watch. Make it happen. But obviously, we are not just here to talk about the pre-merge. We are here to talk about the final 6 of Survivor 49. Before we do, we are going to quickly talk about last episode because, a lot of what's ever going to happen in this episode, we need to talk about the stuff that happened last time. So, Tori, last episode, what are your general thoughts and how do you feel? What stands out from you? What can you remember from last episode?
Well, there were a lot of things that happened last episode. And the first thing I'll say is Steven's advantage and his journey. Steven kind of really slayed last episode. We saw a lot more of Steven. We saw his stock rise a little bit. And I don't know, I saw mixed reviews online about how people felt about that journey. I initially didn't mind it. I love to see something physical that also involves a little bit of thought. It had lots of elements to it. It was obviously tiring and a little bit dangerous with him slipping around on rocks and stuff like that. One thing I guess I will agree with some people about that I saw online on social media and stuff. Some people were saying that it seemed a little too easy. Not easy, but it seemed like he had a little bit too much time. When he got done with the whole puzzle, it seemed like the little thing that he had to break didn't even move. So I don't know if that was poor planning on production's part in terms of what the tide was doing, but obviously that stood out. And now we have another advantage in the game that could come into play this episode, which we always love to see. Now, obviously, I'm not a huge advantage person, but in this episode in particular, I think it's going to be really exciting. So
yeah, I agree. Stephen 8 for me. No matter what anyone says, Stephen 8 to me. Stephen was the player of the episode.
Yes.
And I did actually say on Got Something For You, I was shady because I did see that not every podcast or like every person was like Stephen. And I was kind of just like, you're going to give it to someone else. And I was like, I was like, no. I was like, this was kind of Stephen's episode.
Yeah. It was
Yeah, with the journey, I liked the journey. Me and Matthew did say though on Got Something For You, because surprise, Matthew did come back for last week because I needed to.
We'd love to see it.
We love it. And we both did say like it didn't seem like the time had passed that quickly, because when we
Right.
looked to see like how like high the thing was, it was not that high. So we were like, Stephen could have done like 3 more laps and
Yeah.
it wouldn't have even been like a worry.
Exactly.
So that was the part that I found really funny. For me, I like that there is this advantage now in play, because I do feel like with the dynamics going into this final 6, which we will talk about, I think that advantage is going to make it interesting.
Yes.
And what I did love was Stephen kind of was like, yeah, I have an advantage. I'm not telling a soul about it, though. You're all going to know I have it, but you're not going to know what it is. And I was just like...
Okay, wait. Let's talk about that really quick, because I feel like I'm the only person on like the face of the earth that didn't like love that move. And like we were talking about it on the after show. Like, okay, I get it. And like Bruce was kind of like sort of starting to convince me that yes, it was a good idea. But like couple things. Like the half truth, not only like let me back up. Okay. Anything that he would have said would have created paranoia. Like people were going to think that he was lying about whatever he said. Even if he came back and said that he lost his vote, people were going to be like, let's play as though he has a vote. Let's play as though he has an advantage. You know what I mean? So whatever he said, like it was going to create a similar level of paranoia. And I feel like Steven not telling them what his advantage was is causing Rizzo specifically to play even harder and more strategically, thinking that it's a more powerful advantage. And then also, the last thing I'll say is like the other people back at camp, so all the people listening to the story, like why was there no follow-up question? Like, you're not going to tell us what the advantage is? Like, what is it? Like, you just told us the whole story. What's the advantage? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm definitely in the dark here, but that's what I feel.
I mean, again, I think the last part you said about obviously no follow-up questions, I'm pretty sure there probably was a follow-up question. It was just the fact that the edit didn't show it. Because in my opinion, like if I was anyone else, I'd be like, well, what is the advantage? Sorry, what is the advantage? Like, I'd be like, for me, I understand the thing of like playing too hard, but also at the same time, Stephen doesn't owe any of them that information.
That's true.
So, like, again, if I was in Stephen's position, I'd literally sit there and be like, no, I'm not going to tell you what my advantage is, because you clearly wanted me out last round. You clearly don't want to keep me in the loop. I am not in this majority of yours. So why should I give you the benefit and like satisfaction of knowing what I have? No, I'm going to tell you I have an advantage. I'm not going to tell you what it is though, because you don't deserve it. And again, I think that can be seen as a discredit. He's not willing to tell anyone. So the fact that if anyone sits there and goes like, I had all the power, I had all this, and it's like, no, you didn't. Stephen didn't tell you. Stephen has told no one about his advantage, not even Christina. Getty in the chat does say though, he will tell Christina and hopefully she keeps it to herself. I think she would. I think she would have. She has no reason to tell Savannah, Sophie, or Rizzo.
Right.
Like she has no reason.
Yeah.
Zans makes a good point. Think they will go through his bag because Sophie Squared did it before. I can see that, but also I do think like at this point, if they're aware that someone's gone through Christina's bag, they may just be like, nope, we're not telling you. We're not showing you this. So it will be interesting, but I do think this coming into play is going to kind of rattle things.
Oh, I'm excited. I am so excited. Regardless of what was said at camp after the journey, I'm excited to see how it unravels.
Yeah. Oh, God, absolutely. I do want to ask, because you mentioned Rizzo. I had this little bit of a rant. Well, I say a little bit. I did have this little bit of a rant on Got Something For You because everyone was kind of being like, it was really good this episode, and I kind of was not seeing it. Mainly because I thought that the producers were being very generous with his edit. Because to me, okay, I have a question. Last round, when it came to Sophie S going home, who was the person that spearheaded that? Who was the person that we saw first want to go for Sophie S?
Who was the first person last week? It was Sage, wasn't it?
Yeah. And who did we see kind of the editors trying to push the narrative of this person is pushing the Sophie vote?
It's got to be Rizzo, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
And I was kind of sat there going, these editors are really trying to make it seem like Rizzo is the mastermind here. And I'm like, no, Sage has literally sat there from this second being like, I'm going to be petty and go for Sophie S. And again, you had Stephen and Christina being like, happily, we want to go for Sophie S. Yeah. So I just wanted, I want to gauge that with you, how you felt like Rizzo, but everyone kind of did last episode. And do you think anyone kind of stood out strategically? Because for me, I saw what the editors were trying to do.
I just think with Rizzo, he's just really good at like veering people's attention away from him. So I think in that regard, he did a good job. Like whatever, like I didn't really like love seeing him like kind of start to be paranoid. Like to me, that doesn't really speak to great gameplay. So when he was like talking to Steven and was like, oh, you have this, right? Like some people liked that. It wasn't my personal favorite. However, what I did think he did well was after they won reward and he was like eating with those people, he was like, listen, like I'm not going to play my idol for anybody else. Whenever I say I'm going to vote a certain way, I vote that way, and I am voting for Sophie. And the fact that he did that and people were starting to be convinced that like, oh yeah, you're right, Sophie should go home. When like it shouldn't have been Sophie necessarily from our point of view. I think that people like being in agreement with him just speaks to his like how he's really good at convincing people and really good at sort of like getting the attention off of him at whatever cost.
I can see that. Gessie actually says that Rizzo's best move was Alex, which I find shady.
It's still
I do think that's a very good point. And Zan says, oh, Ollie putting his empath powers to what's an empath? I think I know what an empath is. My brain's forgotten it. We have to remember I've had a very busy day.
I could explain anything to you. Do you actually need me to explain it to you?
Explain it to me. Explain it to me because genuinely my brain has gone to mush.
So it's where you feel for people, you know, like you're understanding where they're coming from and you sort of like start to have a soft spot for that person.
So basically, you're trying to say I'm kind of like Shannon before something.
In a way, no, I don't know if that's the best.
Sorry, I just thought the pie to be shady. But no, that's fair then. Okay, yeah, my empath skills are coming in. But obviously, last round it was Sophie S that went home, and you've kind of alluded to it. Do you think Sophie S going was the best move for every single person? Because it was the first kind of like unanimous vote we saw, especially in the merge.
I mean, one thing I'll say about Sophie is like, I think her strategic and social game must have been better than what we were seeing. And I think that we were seeing some good things from her, but like she was literally silent for the first like 3 episodes of the season at least. And so we just like, we didn't see like as much of her game, even with as much as we've seen her in these past few episodes and after the merge. So she must have been like a much bigger all-around threat than what we were seeing. She was obviously a big physical threat. And I do think that like this season, we're seeing people be like a little more worried about the physical threats than they have been like in the past. Like there's a lot of talk about Sophie and Savannah being these challenge beasts. And so, I do think it was an okay move. I don't think it was necessarily like wrong for everyone. I just think like, and maybe like the shots aren't as clear as what we're seeing. They can't be as clear as they are for us.
Yeah.
But they keep like missing these clear shots at Rizzo or Savannah, who to us are like running the show.
Yeah. But again, that is the lovely power of editing.
Right.
Getty does say the problem was they all didn't trust her, which I think is fair. I don't think she had one person that like fully trusted her. And then Inu says the Sophie S move was the most optimal group vote because she is a flip vote that will expose information.
And that is true. I think that like one thing I kind of said last week that goes to whoever's comment it was that like nobody really trusted Sophie. I really think that like this season is having a hard time trusting one another in general. Like we're not really seeing any like clear alliances. We're seeing like these pairs of people that like they only trust that one other person, maybe if that. And then like I think by the time it gets to the vote and they're trying to work with these other people, these other pairs to get like to make a big move against like Savannah or Rizzo, they can't pull it off. So like if they can come to an agreement about somebody that seems to be somewhat of a threat to everyone, they're just kind of like, let's do this. Like we know that that's like the thing that everyone's doing and she doesn't have an idol or anything. So let's just go for it.
I think that is what was happening. For me, when it comes to that vote, I think it was a great move for Steve and Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because again, Sophie S like went against them, so like she had no loyalty towards them. Like the four that she kind of did want to go with was Savannah, Sophie, and Rizzo. I can understand why it was a good move for Savannah because obviously Sophie was wanting to go for her. I can see why it was a good move for Sage-ish. I do think there was, it was kind of one of those, just from what we know what she wanted, it maybe wasn't the best move. For Sophie B and Rizzo, though, I don't think it was a good move. Because I think Sophie S would have been like on their side 100%. So I don't think it was the best move. And I think this is, so I've seen a thing from Pat Ball here. New person as well. Hi, Pat. Welcome to the stream. I wonder if Rizzo is getting the good player edit while nobody on the beach respects him. And I do think that could slightly be the case. Because it really does look like they are trying to edit Rizzo to be like the hero and Savannah to be the villain. And I'm kind of sat there going like, if you look past the edit, I can see Rizzo still being as cutthroat and as villainous as Savannah is being. It's just the fact he's not being as like blunt. And I'm kind of sat there being like, why are you trying to like heroic this man when I'm like, there is no heroic, like he's not being heroic. Do you think that's slightly the case?
You know, you could be onto something. I can definitely see it. I honestly can't tell what kind of respect the other players have for Rizzo because, like, they seem to like him, but liking him is different than respecting him and, like, giving him credit for those moves.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. Honestly, I can't really make that call. Like, part of me thinks that they think that he's just, like, goofing around on the beach because he's, like, one of the youngest people there. But part of me thinks, like, they are, like, the jury is sitting there being like, he is holding on to this idol. He's doing all these great things. And he somehow is doing it like pretty like convincingly. Like people are just like not even really paying attention to him when they should be paying attention to him. So it's
I think it will all depend on how. I always try and wait and see what the like tribal questions and how he answers the tribal questions and how he responds at tribal, and if he was to hypothetically make final tribal council, how he pitches his game. I think that's where we're going to look at it, because I think what he thinks and then what the jury have seen are two completely different entities. Right. We've got about 30 minutes, so we will take a quick ad break and then we will get to this part from Zan's, because I do feel like that elephant in the room's coming, don't you worry. But obviously, for now, we are going to hear from our lovely friends at Bracketology, because you still have, if you're in our Bracketology League, you still have 30 minutes to make your picks. You've got 2 picks. But let's hear from Bracketology, and then we will see you in a bit.
Welcome to Bracketology, fantasy sports for reality TV. Bracketology provides fantasy football and bracket-style games for Survivor and 33 other reality TV and award shows. We offer free-to-play, season-long fantasy games for Survivor across 4 different game types, ranging from a March Madness-style bracket to weekly elimination confidence pools, and finally to a fantasy football-style game where you draft a team of contestants each week. Depending on what they do and say during the episode, based on a predetermined list of rules, is how they earn or lose points. You can create and join a public league, like the Survivor Now League, or you can create private leagues with your friends. Make sure to check back in after the episode to see how your teams did. In addition, Bracketology also offers daily fantasy pools. Utilizing 2 in-app currencies, coins and bucks, users can enter pools with either currency, answering a slew of multiple choice questions about what they think will happen during the episode, or about other related Survivor or other pop culture news and contests. The top 25% of point scorers in each currency will receive a split of the prize pot. Play with coins for fun to climb the social leaderboard, or play with bucks for your chance to earn real cash prizes. Download the Bracketology app for free today. Good luck.
Make sure you do it. I know we've only got 2 weeks left. I actually didn't check what is happening this week. Oh, let's do that live. Let me quickly look to see what the scoreboard is for our league, because when I tell you this, like, it's been heating up this week, like this time, because it was Logan and then I think it was Sam Dixon. They've kind of been like polling close together.
Okay.
Ooh. Last week, I remember Sam Dixon was in the lead. It is now Son of a Bix, Logan, that is in the lead. They are literally, there is 2 points in between it. So, like, these next 2, tonight and next week, the finale, it's going to be crazy.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so crazy.
Intrigued. I'm intrigued to see how that goes for you two. We will be keeping an eye on it. But obviously, let's get back to tonight's episode, because in just under 25 minutes, we have got the next episode. Zyphon is in the chat. Finally, you're here.
Oh, yes, there you are.
Obviously, we have the final 6. We have Sophie B, Savannah, Rizzo, Stephen, Christina, and Sage. And looking at it from the space, it looks like it's 3-3. It looks like Sage, Stephen, and Christina are on one side, and then Savannah, Sophie, and Rizzo on the other. Going into tonight's episode, it's going to be the case.
You know, it's Sophie B that wants to make the move against Savannah and Rizzo. And I want to think that she's going to make that move and use her knowledge as power to get Rizzo's idol. That's what I want to believe will happen. So will Sophie B flip? I'm going to say yes, only because I want it. But what I want to happen is often not what ends up happening. That's what I will also say.
That's fair. And I feel like that is kind of the big thing for this episode, because we saw last episode Sophie really talking about wanting to make the big move, wanting to make a move against Savannah and Rizzo when the time is right.
Right.
She has got final 6, final 5. Because at final 4, unless she wins immunity and decides, she has no power. So she has final 6, final 5 to make a move if she wants. So I feel like the question is, do you think she's going to do it this round or next round? I would love to see it happen this round. I think there is the chance for it. Because obviously you have this knowledge is power. I feel like these advantages are going to be very key, especially because knowledge is power ends tonight, and so does the blocker vote.
Right.
So you know for a fact Stephen is going to block someone's vote, and I'm pretty sure Sophie B is going to use her knowledge as power, because it has been a fact of the matter for this entire merge.
Right. We
know that Sophie B has had this, and she has referenced it, whenever she finds out information. So I mean, the question is, do you think she's going to use her knowledge as power, and how do you think? I will say, I do agree with what Gemini's just said in the chat. I think that Sophie B wins immunity, steals Rizzo's idol, and guarantees her spot in the final 4.
I love that. That would be like chef's kiss for me. I really want, not that I want to see Rizzo go down, but we've seen him have this idol, get by so many votes, and just to see his former ally use this advantage that he knows nothing about against him. That's the kind of TV we need, y'all.
Yeah.
So that would be amazing. I love that prediction. What I also think would be amazing And again, I mean, maybe not again, but this is not necessarily what I like want to happen, but what would make for interesting TV is also if Rizzo wins immunity, which we probably won't see happen. He doesn't seem to be great at most challenges, but maybe this will be his thing and he locks in and he just like pulls one out. And now he's got this immunity idol. So like Sophie could still steal it. And then they're not going for Rizzo though. So like it's like who do they go for? So that to me would be really exciting.
I think, that's going to be the interesting thing. And I mean, Zyphon has just said it in the chat, which I think is quite good. The knowledge is power. If the knowledge is power is going to be successful, it will be played against Rizzo's idol since Steven's blocker vote is played before they leave for tribal. That is what's going to be interesting for me, because then the question kind of becomes, does Sophie use the idol this round or does she save it for final 5? Because at this point, like there is only as soon as whoever we know wins immunity, there is only 5 people that's up. So it could be the fact that Sophie B doesn't win immunity and goes, I want to be safe for this round because we know it's 3-3. If Steven's if she figures out or knows that Steven's doing something with someone else's vote, she might want to be selfish and go, I'm protecting myself. Because at the end of the day, if regardless, they think, apparently she can't save it. I mean, Rizzo's idol.
I think she can. I could be totally wrong, but that's how I understood knowledge is power. I think she obviously can't save if she steals Steven's advantage. She can't save Steven's advantage because that's only good through final 6.
No, I know. No, so sorry. I just meant that like if she uses is it going to be a case of does she use it straight away to save herself?
Right.
Because obviously of this 3-3 dynamic.
You know what? I think that being that she has played such a good social game, she might be able to convince Christina, Steven, and Sage that she's going to vote with them. And she might just like take a gamble and trust that they believe her and save that idol. I don't know.
That's the thing. That's going to be the interesting thing because hypothetically, say that Savannah wins immunity. They already think Rizzo has that idol. If she turns around and goes, vote for Rizzo, trust me, he won't be able to use his idol. That would be gaggy.
I would be obsessed, especially being a Sophie B stan this entire time. I mean, this whole entire chat, I think, knows that. I just want to see her use this thing correctly and in a way that makes the jury like stand up out of their seats. Like, let's go. Yeah,
I agree. And I mean, Inu's just said it. If Sophie steals Rizzo's idol, his threat level for final tribal goes down dramatically.
Yes.
Because apart from that, what has Rizzo done? Like, obviously the Alex vote. I think we've said this. He definitely has the Alex vote. After that, like, she's now made this stellar move. She has made a really iconic final 6 move that we've seen happen before, Marianne. So it would be very like I was also thinking of final 6 for 46 as well. Sorry. Zan's just said you made me a believer in Sophie B.
Yay,
he is a Sophie B believer.
Yes, that's us.
I agree. I really do feel like this episode, it's definitely going to be Sophie B's episode. I just have that feeling. And I think it just generally comes down to how this knowledge is power is going to be used. And I think we all kind of deduced Steven is probably going to use his blocker vote, obviously, and she can't steal that. And I think she's going to have to take Rizzo's idol. Because, again, someone said it earlier on in the chat, there has been so much hype under this knowledge is power, it can't not be successful.
If we see her not use it, I'm actually going to be so pissed.
I will write to Survivor and be like, what are you playing at? Why did we need that?
Or if we see her use it incorrectly or something. Like if Rizzo ends up giving the idol to Savannah or something last minute, I will cry. Not of joy.
The thing is, she has done such a good job though at keeping it under wraps. I don't think that would be the case. No. I think if it would be anything, I think it would be her saying, I want to try and steal Steven's advantage. I think it would be the fact of, because I think I said this on Got Something For You. if people believe their own like opinions after a while, they will believe that they're right. Specifically when it comes to what they think Stephen's advantage is. Because again, Stephen's not said it. So they are going to believe it's a stealer vote, to which Sophie can be like, I want to steal your stealer vote. And Stephen can sit there and be like, that's fine. I don't have a stealer vote though. So sorry. And then she screwed it. So
that would hurt my heart. But I do think that if she tries to use the knowledge is power against Stephen and it doesn't work, that is Stephen winning the game. Like that, you know what I mean? Like, and that's not even like a move that he's pulling. It just like making another player publicly look bad like that is going to make your stock rise so much.
I agree. Getty does actually say if she doesn't use it, she will go down in history as one of the saddest figures in Survivor US. I mean, in the sense of like what could have been. And then Zan's saying, can you imagine Savannah giggling and taunting Sophie at Tribal knowing she stole the plans?
It would be in my nightmares. It would be in my nightmares.
Okay, right. We have got 15 minutes to go for this episode. So, Tori, we're going to lock in our predictions. Who do we think's winning immunity? Who do we think's going home? What crazy shenanigans do we think is going to happen?
Okay, so I do think that we are going to see Savannah win immunity again. And again, everybody that's listening, a lot of my own personal, like what I would like to see unfold comes into play when I make these predictions, okay? Well, at least for this the last vote or two. Okay. So, yeah, I think Savannah's going to win immunity. And I think that people's attention will then deflect from her. I think maybe like people's attention might be on her before immunity, before the challenge, and then she's going to win. And that way it's going to be a clean vision towards Rizzo. And people are going to be like, let's just take this shot. And I think Sophie's going to like tell everybody to trust her. And she's going to vote for Rizzo, but they have to trust her. And I think she's going to steal his idol. And I think that Rizzo goes home.
I like that. I'm here for that prediction.
Okay.
I do also think I could see Savannah winning. Every part of me just wants to throw like a spanner in the works and it's like Sage wins. Because that would be gaggy. I would imagine it's like out of nowhere Sage wins immunity.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think that would leave that trio open to then everyone being a target. But I do agree. I think it's going to be one of that trio that wins. Do I say Savannah or do I say Sophie B? I'll go with Savannah. I'll go with Savannah wins.
Okay.
And I kind of, I hate saying it, but I do agree with Savannah. I think it's going to be either Stephen or Rizzo. So I'm just going to feel my own humility and just go, it's going to be Rizzo. I don't want it to be Stephen.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's going to be some things goes on, and I think Sophie B uses her knowledge is power correctly, takes Rizzo's idol, and Rizzo goes home. I think that's what happens.
So we're in agreement? Oh my God.
We're in agreement. We're definitely in agreement.
I love it.
I also love to tell you, Savannah looks good with the shark tooth necklace. She does.
She does.
And then Getty goes, what do you think about a possible second hidden immunity idol? Never say no. We've seen idols come into play at Final Six. So, because I think 46, wasn't it, Q? Didn't Q get an idol that round? And I was like, because I remember that. And I was like,
oh my God, wait, did he? Was that Final Six? Q didn't.
Yeah.
I thought he got voted out the episode before that. At 6?
Maybe. It was one of them. He got that idol, one of the, because I think, didn't Venus got her idol the round that she then went home?
Yes.
I think. And I think it was then the same, because then it was Q the next episode. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, Zanz also says, yeah, Rizzo for the epic night is the dream. Let's go. Well, we're going to see, because in about 12 minutes' time, the episode will air. Episode 12, Survivor 49, will air. Me and Tori have made our predictions. But before we go and get ready, we obviously have just to talk about what's coming on the show. As a reminder, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we have got loads more content. Obviously, tonight, following the episode, make sure you join Tori along with Abraham from Survivor 41 and Bruce from Survivor 44 and 45. They will be breaking down the episode right after with the after show, giving their genuine reactions. So make sure to tune in for that, because those three will just tell you how it is. Yes, Sans Abe is back. Both of them are back from Over the Edge, so they're going to have a lovely time here. After that, on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Survivor Social. So make sure to check that out, because the girlies will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern, breaking down all the social dynamics, looking at all the social plays of this final six. And then on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we will have Stockwatch with Will and Josh, who will break down all the power rankings, look into the edit, look at the strategy to determine who they think is the winner based on the edit. As Dan's just said, Survivor Social is deep analysis.
Yeah.
And then finally, on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, you have myself and Phil for Got Something For You, where we recap the episode scene by scene and look at what we think is going to happen because of it. And then also take a look at social media, because we are nosy buggers and want to know everything that's gone on. That is also a reminder, keep an eye out on X at Survivor Now Pod, because we will be posting polls for you to vote on. We may have a guest. I just need to confirm it. So keep an eye out for that. It will be hopefully a lovely person from 47. So keep an eye. But before we go, we've got 10 minutes left for the episode. Hold on. I've got to go to this one. Thank you, Pat Ball. We're happy you found this as well. Like I said, make sure to tune into all the other things, but we will have our pre-show finale one as well. But before we go, Tori, have you got any final words to say before the episode?
I mean, I just want to reiterate what I said earlier on in the episode. For anybody that missed it, I think this is like one of the most excited I've been for a second to last episode of a new era season. I mean, I truly don't know what's going to go down, but it's going to be good. So I can't wait to watch, and I can't wait to talk to you all about it.
I'm excited to see how this episode goes. I definitely think going into this final six, we are going to see really who gets out of this war, because I feel like it's going to be 3 versus 3, and I'm intrigued to see who wins this battle. So get your popcorn, get your drinks, get your snacks, get whatever you need. Get ready, because in 10 minutes time, episode 12 will air, and then we will be right back with the after show. But for now, we will see you soon.